I don't care about the consequence. I don't care about the. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Boss Up and Glow Up with Alexi Sample. I'm back in my normal setup, y'all. I was getting a little too comfy in my room, but I think I'm gonna go back and forth between my office and my room. But I also, during Christmas season, I think I'm gonna start doing my episodes in front of the Christmas tree because it'll bring some vibes to it. I feel like that'll be really cute. But I just wanted to welcome you back to another episode of Boss Up and Glow Up. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Lexi. We talk so much about mental health, motivation, glowing up, being disciplined, and that kind of goes into today's topic because we can be delusional. You have to be delusional. I always say you get your dream life with a delusional belief. And we need to be delusional enough to believe in ourselves and disciplined enough to make it happen. It's not all about being delusional. You can manifest all you want, but you have to be disciplined enough to make it happen. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the moment that everyone everyone hits on their glow up journey. And that's when motivation dies, when the excitement wears off, when the new me energy fades, which that happens a lot come February because come to the end of the year, we're like, yeah, like 2026 is about to happen. You're so motivated to become this new version of yourself. We need to keep that energy, okay? Because we're never gonna get our dream life if we let that fade, okay? Also, when you don't feel like doing anything. And listen, I don't care how successful you are, how aesthetic your morning routine looks, how organized your planner is, everyone hits this moment, even the ones who look perfect online. Even me, not saying I'm perfect, but what I'm saying is I preach about having a good schedule, being healthy, healthy habits, yada yada. I have my moments too, y'all. I lost motivation too, which is why I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this, okay? Because motivation, she's cute. She's chaotic though. She's like that one friend who only shows up for like brunch pics, but never actually the hard conversations. She's fun, but she's a little unreliable. And if you've been beating yourself up lately because you fell off your routine or you're not as consistent as you promised or you feel like you're constantly starting over, I want you to slow down, take a breather, okay? You're not behind. You're not lazy. You're not failing. You're just entering something way deeper, your discipline era. The era where you stop letting your mood run your life and start acting like the person you want to become. Do you ever notice how motivation shows up at the most random and inconvenient times? Like it could be midnight and suddenly you're like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, organize my whole entire life, and becoming a brand new person. You're pumped. You're excited. You're literally like an energizer bunny. And then the morning comes. You wake up. Let's start next Monday. And then it turns into, let's start next month. The new year's coming. Let's just wait till then. That's because motivation is emotional hype. It's not a foundation. What we need to work on is building that foundation. Motivation tells you the dream. Discipline is the dream. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fireplace. Let me say this to you kindly and loving you. Most of us stay stuck because we are addicted to planning the dream instead of building the dream. I know that may hit you a little hard, but I'm saying that at the kindness of my heart. I've been there too. I love planning vision boards, I love manifestation. And the discipline part is a little hard. Like, it's so much easier to say, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna start building my business. But actually doing it is hard. You know how you convince yourself you're gonna do something by making a to do list or watching motivational videos like Boss Up and Glow Up, listening to podcasts, or rearranging your room for the millionth freaking time? That's fake productivity. It feels good, but it doesn't move. Showing up to the unaesthetic stuff is waking up on a random Tuesday with no motivational music, no aesthetic, no motivation, and still doing the thing. That's where your real glow up is going to happen because you're actually making that change. It's not going to happen on day one when it's very exciting, but on day 37 when you're bored, tired, annoyed, and no one is clapping for you. That's when it's going to happen. Let's back this up with some science because I don't like to just feed you random information. I like to do the research behind it. It does help that I'm a doctorate student in clinical psychology, so I'm learning so many different things. And it's actually really fun to implement things I'm actually learning every day in school to my videos because I'm preaching so much stuff and it all connects and I love it. Okay, so let's get into the science part of it because nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is literally built like this, okay? So, your brain prioritizes comfort, not growth. Your brain is still wired like it's trying to keep you alive in the wild. New habits feel like a threat, they're scary. So when you start a new routine, your brain is like, oh my God, danger, danger. Why are we waking up so early? Why are we sweating? Why are we stressed? Let's stop this. Not because you lack discipline, it's because your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort. New routines require identity shifts. This is huge. This is also very scary. You can't become a consistent person if you still identify as the person who is struggling. Your actions will always match your identity, not your goals. Your brain relies so much on feelings instead of systems. If your success depends on how motivated you feel, you're never going to get anywhere. Your feelings are inconsistent. Your systems are the things that carry you. Your brain also expects instant transformation. We all do this. We think one good week equals a brand new life, but transformation is slow, subtle, and it's honestly pretty boring. So it's very easy to say you're gonna do something, but then once you try to be consistent, you get bored of it and you're like, ain't for me. One of the biggest reasons why this may be a little difficult to stay disciplined is you haven't built self trust yet. You don't believe in yourself because you've broken your promises so many times, and that's okay. But discipline is where you start repairing that relationship. Okay, now let's talk about what your discipline era is really going to look like because your discipline era isn't pretty. It's not a Pinterest board. It's not the aesthetic morning routine with the perfect lighting, the cute robe, the beautifully colored coffee. Okay, your discipline era is real, it's raw. And to be honest, it's often private. You're not showcasing how disciplined you are every single day. You're just doing it. Your discipline era is going to look like waking up and doing the routine, even though you're annoyed and tired. Going to the gym with yesterday's hair because you don't care anymore. You're there to work. I used to actually get ready for the gym and it would just waste so much time because I'm like, why am I getting ready to just sweat? Like I don't know. I get how some people say look good, feel good, but like I used to get ready. Okay. But now I don't give a fuck. I just go to the gym, sweat, and then get ready later. But showing up for yourself, even when no one's watching, that's what discipline looks like. Doing the boring tasks that don't give you instant gratification. Healing your procrastination with action, not just journaling, not just manifesting. Keeping small promises no matter what. Choosing long term satisfaction over temporary comfort. And lastly, not negotiating with your comfort zone. Discipline isn't up for negotiation, y'all. You need to just do it. It's the era where you stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, did I promise myself this? Is this who I want to become? If the answer is yes, get up. Your discipline era is you growing up emotionally. It's you proving to yourself that you are capable, you are trustworthy, and you are reliable. Here's the gag, y'all. Discipline builds confidence way faster than motivation ever will because confidence comes from evidence, not hype, not excitement. Like I said, I know it's easier said than done. So let's talk about how to actually show up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. So here's where I give you the actionable, real, and practical strategies. This is not going to be impossible. These are things and these are realistic things that you can do to actually get to where you want to be. And a huge one is lower the task, not the standard. So many people quit because they think everything has to be done at 100%. No, do it at 20%. It still counts. Even though it's small, it still counts. It's a step in the right direction. If you try to go 0 to 100, you're going to disappoint yourself and your expectations are going to be way too high and you're going to quit. It happens all the time. You also need to replace pressure with rituals. So, romanticize the process. Make your routines feel good, not like it's a punishment. I like to do this thing called the 5-minute rule where I tell myself I only have to do this for 5 minutes. Starting is always the hardest part. And a lot of the time, when you say you're going to do something for 5 minutes, you end up just doing it longer. Like I used to say, oh, I'll spend 5 minutes in the morning stretching and journaling. And it just ends up me enjoying it. And I actually do the journaling and I actually do the stretching because, y'all, my hips are tight. I hate stretching so much. But I'm getting old. Okay, no, I'm not getting old, but I mean, I'm 27, I'm getting older. I need to start stretching, especially how I work out. I need to start stretching. So that's one thing I always complain about. But starting is always the hardest part, y'all. You got to just do it. You need to remove the decision making. If you have to think about it, you're going to talk yourself out of it. Habits should be on autopilot. You should just do them. So stop overthinking them. When you know that you said you were going to do something, stop thinking about it. Just get it done because the more you think about it, the more you're going to be like, next week, next month, forget it. You also need to embrace the B minus effort, not just aim for the A plus effort. Perfectionism kills discipline. It literally slits discipline in the throat. Oh, that's a little gruesome. Done is better than perfect. Consistency is better than intensity. For example, I am a doctorate student, okay? These papers that I got to write are hard. Am I going to sit there and try to make every single paper perfect? I have a life, okay? I work, I want to spend time with my family. I'm in a relationship. I want to see my friends. Like, would I rather sit there and nitpick every single thing and end up maybe turning in my paper late or maybe forgetting to turn it in at all because I'm nitpicking? Or would I rather get it done and maybe get a B? Think about it like that. I would rather get the B, okay? Because I need to get it done. Here's the real game changer, y'all. You cannot discipline yourself into a new identity. You need to shift your identity first. The version of you with the life that you want, they already exist, but they behave a little differently. They think a little differently. They decide a little differently. Start saying simple affirmations, okay? Say, I am disciplined. I am consistent. I keep promises to myself. I follow through even on low energy days. I don't bail on myself. You're not faking it, you're practicing it. And people always say practice makes perfect. Identity is a rehearsal before it becomes a reality. Nothing is ever perfect right away. You can never get anywhere without practice. Do you think all those dancers just become? No. It takes so much effort, so much practice to be a good dancer. Same with singers. Some people are just born with a blessed voice. Okay, that was a bad example. But in anything you do, you need to practice. Practice really does make perfect. Okay, perfect, we're not using the word perfect, but you know what I mean. Everything is practice. Your life is practice. You'll get there. You just need the practice and the patience to get there. I want to give you a little example from how practice is super important. So, I don't wanna say growing up because this started in high school. I started to play tennis. The reason why I started playing tennis, it was an interesting story. So, I don't know how your high schools worked, but in my area, you could pick what school you wanna go to, but the kicker was if it's a school that isn't within a certain radius, you don't get a bus, okay? So, my mom wanted me to go to this certain school, but I couldn't get a bus to it because it was a little further than where I lived. It was, like, out of the district, and I had to wait after school for my mom to come pick me up because she was a teacher, so she got done later than me. So I needed to figure out a way to waste some time after school, so I decided to play tennis. That's how I got into it, which is so funny, but then I fell in love with the sport. I made really good friends playing the sport, and I wanted to get better. And I ended up asking my mom to sign me up for private lessons with a coach because I really, really wanted to get better because tennis is a hard sport to just get better at because you need to like learn the technique, you have to play and you can't play it by yourself to practice. You know, you need to like hit the ball with somebody and I didn't know anybody because I was going to a new school. So I asked my mom to get me a coach, and my first year playing tennis, I was like bottom JV, okay, because I sucked. But the next year, after just a year of practice, I made varsity. Practice made me better. I was a better tennis player. I was disciplined enough to become a better tennis player. I was doing school, I was going to normal tennis practice, like, at school, and then after tennis practice, I had my private lessons with my coach, and then I would go home and I have to do my homework and rinse and repeat. So, yeah, I was tired. That's a lot for, like, a 15-year-old to take on, but I really was determined enough to be a better tennis player, so that was a sacrifice I had to make. And it's the same situation with anything. Like, you wanna become a morning person, you're gonna hate it at first. You're gonna be groggy. It's going to suck, but the more you practice getting up early, the more it becomes a routine. Like you don't you let's say you used to get up at like 9, but you really want to be that 6 a.m. person. Don't just set your alarm for 6 o'clock because that's not gonna work. You need to do it in smaller increments. So if you usually wake up at 9, you want to start waking up at 6, maybe wake up at 8:30 one day and do that for like a few days and then maybe try 8, do that for a few days, 7:30, do that for a few days, 7, and then go so on and so forth until you get 6 a.m. and then you can be consistent with that 6 a.m. But that is a what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 3-hour difference. That's a lot. That's gonna take some getting used to. You're going to have to practice and be able to get that into your routine because you can't just flip the switch like that or it's not gonna work long term. Yeah, maybe it'll work for like a day or 2, but it's not gonna be a long-term consistent thing you're able to do because you didn't ease into it and you didn't practice it. And it's like that with anything you do. You just have to take the time and actually practice the routines. The dream life you want is going to take effort. You're going to have to practice it. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to be this person today and just snap your fingers and you're there. No, that's not how it works. Again, maybe for a day, but it's not realistic long term. Okay. I really hope this episode reminded you that motivation isn't the foundation. You are. Everything starts with you. Your discipline era is you stepping into your next level. It's not supposed to feel easy or super aesthetic. It's not going to look like those videos you see online where people are like, oh, here's my 5 a.m. morning routine. I posted one of those too. It doesn't always look like that, okay? And they're just super aesthetic. It looks like they have their shit together. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable because you're stretching, but you are capable, you are strong, you are consistent, and you don't need motivation to become the person you are. You just need the discipline to start. And I want to thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And I want to hear what you took away from today's episode. I want to hear what part hit you the most and if this related to you in any way, shape, or form, or if maybe it relates to somebody you're close with. I just hope this helped somebody out, okay? Because I know trying to get to where you want to be is hard. It takes practice, it takes effort. And maybe you just needed to hear it to just get there. And honestly, that kind of helps me sometimes too, is just hearing it is the kick in the ass that I need. All right. I love you guys so much. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Bye.
I don't care.